if you like throwing salami at the wall, it's something you should be doing anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
because
like,
it's gonna help grow you and teach you. It's gonna help you as a director. It's gonna help you as an actor. It's gonna help you as an
yeah.
editor, writer. You know.
Let's have a little conversation, so we're not just like, it's not like interview kind of style, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Let me know when you're ready.
Um,
Let me know when you're ready, pal.
well, I'm ready. So I'm just wanna, I think it's just kind of a big question right now is like, how did you guys pull a movie out of your ass in in the last couple of weeks, you know, with not having the right proper tools, and you know what I mean? And also having a lot of people that are green. Not that that's a bad thing or anything. It's just we're all learning and trying to figure things out as we go. And this is a good freaking example, I think, to put out there that like if you put your mind into it, you know,
Yeah,
things come out. So what happened?
buddy. As you know, I'm still out here in LA. Been out here for about the past month, just making movies, grinding, doing what we do, film, chat, and hustle style. We filmed a movie called Scream Bloody Murder. A great cast. We had Scout Taylor Compton, as we all know. We had her in Room 9, Robert Lasardo, Lauren Francesca, my God, Tom Sizemore. Just a great cast we put together with Cole Duder, Sean C. Phillips, Will Colazzo, myself, Jared Safier, Safe Entertainment, Phil the Dream, Step by Step. Sean hit me up a couple months ago and said he wanted to do a horror film. He knew me from the horror community from Room 9 and asked us to jump on board. So, we jumped on board as producers through Safe Entertainment, and just yeah, dude, got on set, made a movie. But it was challenging because we had to film it in 7 days. That's what the budget allowed, and 7 days on a set is kind of crazy. But bring a lot of good people in that what they're doing and moving, and we got it done. We accomplished it. Can't talk much about like what we're doing now with the sales and all that, but we're in a good position, and this is going to be out there. It's going to be seen. You're editing it, Naveed, and yeah, we pulled it off, man. So, like our show, Film, Chat, and Hustle, you just got to hustle, man, because a lot of people, they get money and they don't think it's enough money. They don't think they can pull it off, and their films never get made. They say to themselves, well, I need this a little more, that a little more. Then I say to them, hey, bro, well, how many films you do? Well, I've only did, one or two the past couple of years because I wanted more money. But guess what, man? Create content. I say it all the time. Say it all the time to people in this industry. Create content, because that one content you can create can get picked up, and that can define you. That can get you. You can have a cult following. Say if you do a horror movie, for a couple $100,000, bro, and it gets picked up, and next thing you know, you have the Blair Witch or something like that, and you're working forever. It happened to us, in our last couple movies. So I always tell directors and actors, just keep creating. If that's what you love to do, keep creating content. And eventually it's like salami. You throw enough pieces of salami to the wall, bro, one of them's going to stick.
Well, also, if you like throwing salami at the wall, it's something you should be doing anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because it's going to help grow you and teach you. It's going to help you as a director. It's going to help you as an actor. It's going to help you as an editor, writer,
Yeah, just it's like going to the gym. You're practicing, your muscles and your vitality, your kind of like your versatility, your everything that you're doing in the gym to make yourself better, not just to get buffer, but like healthier and feel better and all that. It's the same thing where if you actually practice and do a lot of work, and like you're in the grind, it becomes like second nature. You're kind of like, okay, now we got to do this, now we got to do that. The cool thing about the shoot you guys just did was you had a good DP and you had a good sound.
Yeah.
The quality is like, it's good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And a lot of people are learning on the side, and that's a little challenging, especially doing it in 7 days. If you have 20 days, it's nice to have people that are just, that are learning on set. But it's always fun though when you have people that are really passionate and they're just, you know, hopping in the grind with you. It's pretty evident when I'm going through the clips right now. So like I'm not completely into the edit at all. Like I'm just like organizing, but
Uh-huh.
I can see the hustle and the I love the hustle
Dude, you
in
gotta
the way you
hustle
guys
like,
shot it.
bro. You gotta surround yourself with other hustlers, people that are on the same path as you, man. You know, there's no I in team, and that's what it is. You can do $1 million movie, a $10 million movie, $100,000 movie, as long as there's people on the same grind as you. You're like a pack of lions, you know. If you're a hungry lion, you know, surround yourself with other hungry lions. You know.
Exactly. And another thing about some of the people in the cast and crew are people that have, yeah, people that work in different kind of media and content, you know, on like YouTube, Instagram, and all that. So
Yeah,
like that's the cool part too, where it's also like it's adding to not
the
only
value.
the value, but it's just kind of like you're going into different you're becoming versatile, you know, in
Yeah.
your content and what you're doing. It's pretty cool.
Well,
Um,
well, one person I told you we had, you know, I did a is our friend Lauren. She has a couple million followers on Instagram and YouTube and stuff. And I never knew that world. I never knew that, you know, I've always been a filmmaker. I've always been a grinding, gritty filmmaker. So, you know, chilling and hanging out with her a lot. I've been doing a lot of photo shoots. I did one with her last night today. Um, you know, we're out here in Hollywood right now. We just did one actually today. You know, it's cool ass house, bro. Got hills everywhere. Hood dude from Philly, you know, kicking some ass in LA. But yeah, that's what she introduced me to that her audience, and it's crazy. It's a different hustle. Just seeing what she does and the pictures and having to keep up with her content and everything. It's the same thing that we're doing. We're grinding as filmmakers, and she's an actress too. She's been acting like 12 years and a friggin' awesome actress. Just cast her in a couple more of our movies, but it's the same thing, bro. It's a grind. It's a hustle. It's you know, it's amazing to see people of all different avenues to come together for this project and doing what we're doing.
yeah. So what can we say about the story?
Oh, so
Because I
the
want to know
story,
more.
yeah, I don't know if I, you know, say a lot. So the story's a bunch of uh kids, you know, that go to a camp, and in this camp a killer stalks them. And it's kind of like when I first looked at the script, it kind of reminded me of like an old Scream vibe meets Sleepaway Camp. That movie in 1980, Sleepaway Camp. Kind of, I got that vibe, which is kind of cool. We watched that last night, but it's also it puts in like that Scream, and you know, Scout's character is the Sidney Prescott um, in the beginning type role. Then it follows these cheerleaders, Lauren, Kelly Ryder, Brooklyn, follows them going to cheer camp, trying to make the team, and then eventually a killer stalks everyone at cheer camp. And it's kind of like the way Sean set it up. It's like a old school '80s, old school '80s like slasher flick, and that's the stuff he's into, and that stuff sells, man. You know, if you can find an audience, nerdy is an audience for that, and especially in horror cons and everything, you can find a really good audience, especially with the names that are involved. You know, especially leading the way. We have a diverse cast. We have a female driven cast, and we have a couple cool male roles. But you know, I love the women empowerment in movies with Scout, and Lauren, and everything, Kelly, and everyone. And I think that's definitely gonna find a niche in the horror world. And I think the movie will do good, bro.
I think so. You know, it's got a good cast, and there's a lot of interesting scenes. Um, cool, man. So, what's next? As far as you guys are working on and getting another project going, or
Oh yeah, and sorry about the shaky camera work, guys. Just you know, I was doing a photo shoot all day today, so I didn't have a chance to like put my camera on a tripod or anything like that. I'm, you know, with a bunch of friends. So me and David wanted to get this podcast out. Two guys rock it out because this is what we do. We make films, we hustle, we chat. But yeah, we got another one coming up that we're doing with, with the same people, with Lauren, Sean. And Sean has a big following in the horror world, close to 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, and with Lauren's millions of fans, and Jared, you, me. I already talked to Scalpa, getting her involved. We're doing another one called Camp of Terror. The same thing, keeping the same flow going, the same formula. But we sat up, me, Lauren, and her friend Carlos, and looked at a bunch of like 80s, 90s movies like that, like Sleepaway Camp and everything. And by looking at what was the other one, Carlos? The
La Llorona, or
yeah, what is it?
It's called La Llorona. It's a Spanish film, and it's a scary movie. It's very popular in Latin America.
So
that's what it's called.
Yeah, it's kind of like the way Carlos said it to me. It's kind of like a candy, like I don't know. We saw everything was in subtitles, which is pretty cool. We sat up and we just was reading off the TV, but it was kind of cool if you can find an element like that. See, horror, you got to remember, horror, there's a formula, and if you can stick to that formula, you will be very successful, because there's so many horror fans out there that love that formula, like Toy Box, like Room 9, like Blair Witch. Like, to have that, man, you can be successful, bro. And we do this for the love of making films, but man, the more films you can make, the more money you can make. And guess what? Like Walt Disney said, we make films not for money, brother. We make films to make money, to make more films.
Exactly. It's get the tool. Money is a tool,
Exactly.
It's just kind of like helps to make the shit.
Hey, buddy, I want to introduce you to my boy Carlos. Man, he's like does editing. I think you guys would be awesome to connect.
Hey, how's it
What's
going?
up, man? How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing all right, thank you. We're just over here chilling at this pool area, and we may take a dip in a little bit. But yeah, he told me a lot about you. He said you're an editor and you do a lot of things. You're a director and just a lot of things.
Thanks. Yeah. Hope it's all good stuff.
No,
You
dude, that's what
you
Carlos
can tell him
is.
some
Carlos
of
is an editor, director, just like you, producer. Yeah. I'm like, you guys are like match made in heaven.
It was all good stuff. Yeah, it was positive.
Oh, right on. Well, yeah, I'd love to, figure out how we can connect and, work on, and figure out what we can collide and collaborate, man. I'm always up for meeting new artists. That's all it's about.
Yeah, I'm the same way. So yeah, we can definitely meet up and talk about different projects. You can tell me what you're working on, and I can let you know about mine as well.
Yeah.
What's your website? What's your website, Carlos?
It's carlosfunes.com, and that's my website for films I directed. And I have another one.
How do you spell that?
The first one is CARLOS, Funes as in F as in Frank, U as in umbrella, N as in Nancy, E as in Edward, S as in Sam.com. And that's just my writer director website. There's a bunch of old short films on there, so I'll eventually have to update it, but I think my reel's on there.
What's the one you showed me last night?
That's one of and the other one is carlosinpost.com, and that's for video editing and motion graphics. So it's CARLOS in post as in post production. carlosinpost.com.
Nice. What do you like to edit on?
I typically do Premiere, but I know a little bit of Avid. I typically use Adobe Premiere. I use After Effects and I know a little bit of Avid, so occasionally I get work there too.
Yeah. Nice.
What do you use?
I'm using Premiere, but I started actually on Final Cut, and then actually Windows Movie Maker, and then Final Cut, and then Avid, and then I'm sticking with Premiere. I just like the workflow better on Premiere than Avid personally. Yeah,
I do too. I run into lately. I've been running into a lot of Avid work, and I thought I would have died by now, but apparently Avid does a lot of stuff I wasn't aware of, so it's probably not going to die anytime soon.
That's the only thing is, being connected also to Pro Tools and having some of the online
Right.
capabilities.
That's true.
So they've made a lot of adjustments, and I've definitely looked into figuring out how to get into the Avid a little bit more. But
Yeah.
once we're doing
I literally,
independent stuff, it's just you do whatever you want to do.
yeah. I was literally in Venice Beach on Saturday working on a promo project. I didn't sign an NDA, but I don't even think it matters. But the gist is, yeah, they use Avid, and there's a couple of things that I just didn't know, so I ordered some books online because I'm like, I need to figure this out before they figure out that I only know it okay.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we got the job done, and it was just a couple of days, but that it was a really cool studio. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool, man.
And so in the meantime, we're just working on different things over here. I'm working with your friend Tom over here.
Mm-hmm. Heck yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Let's get rocking.
Yeah. So we may potentially do some stuff in addition to what's already up in the air.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of projects we're trying to figure out, and it's ultimately figuring out what's the right kind of funding, what's the right kind of locations, and tax incentives. My favorite thing has been tax incentives. It's kind of like work around that somehow, because New Mexico is one of them. And there's obviously like Mississippi and Georgia and all that, but they have minimum requirements to shoot out there, where New Mexico does not have a minimum requirement.
Right. New Mexico is a favorite for tax incentives. Those who are looking for that. In Ohio, I think it's wild popular as well for tax incentives. I forget because I look that up every 4 years just because it's part of the process, I guess. But like, yeah, so I have a couple of projects where that would matter, and then I have one that I'm working on right now where that wouldn't matter because we're just going to shoot it without investors. It's still in development, but like I'll have more about that another time. But like we're just gonna write it and shoot it and call it a day. And because we have like I said, I have other projects, but we're looking for investors, and it's just taking time.
Yeah. I know how that goes.
Yeah. So too much to the point where I'm just like, I know how to do this without investors. I'm just gonna shoot one.
Yeah, I did that technically with a few projects. I did a short feature, kind of a 45-minute long film that I did for basically $100 out of my pocket.
That's amazing.
And I shot it in 4 days. And a lot of people really liked it. They even liked it more than some of the other features that we worked on with like big name talent in it.
Right.
And I was like, well, I think it's kind of like one of those things where, and I also did another one for $2,700 versus like some of the other ones we did for 17 or 50,000 and another for 200,000. It's get out there and get her done, because you can save $2,000, you can ask friends and family for $2,000, and they'll pay it. Be a producer, executive producer on it. Be like $200 here, $200 there, $100 here, $50. You got your $2,000, and then you go and shoot like Robert Rodriguez thing. About? Yeah, I shot a feature link. I won.
That's really good.
Best Mississippi feature film.
That's super dope, dude. That I don't know. I went to New York and I'm still in New York currently. That's where I live. But like. I went there basically to raise funding for some of my projects, and that's all I did for 9 years. I'm just like, you guys do realize, like, I feel like telling these investors, I could just make this, but like that's why I have another producer talk for me. But like the idea for me is just like, you know what, I'm just gonna shoot something that we write in a few days. And then like I can go to Texas or Arizona to shoot it because it takes place in the desert, and so that's ultimately what we're going to do. It's going to end up probably costing like 10 or 20 or 30,000 in the long run. I can save a lot of money in post because I know post, and yeah, I know a lot of people who are ready to buy stuff. So I'm halfway there as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, that's the plan for this next one.
Yeah. Yeah, I think investors are good to come in when there's a plan for distribution and there's some kind of a ROI involved in the plan. Otherwise, it's just kind of like a huge obligation to bring on money from somebody else that's a
Yeah,
giant chunk,
yeah, and
So
yeah,
it's
yeah. I try to see it from their perspective too. So I'm just like, yeah, trying to sort of learn their side of the job. So I'm more open and understanding. At least that's what I try to do anyway.
yeah, exactly. Having name talent ish, be a kind of whatever
Yeah.
talent you can get in there, even if it's like for a couple of lines, they show their face and leave. Those things help out sometimes.
Yeah.
We
Oh
had
yeah. Well, yeah. And so it was going to start with just a bunch of friends and then like some actors and then, but it may end up blowing up to having a couple of names in there too. And so it may just lead to that. And I forget, like, if this is like an interview between you and Tom, I don't want to hog Tom's entire.
It's not really an interview. We're just chatting.
Showtime.
It's all chat, really. I'm trying to stay away from an interview format.
Style.
It's
That's
not.
a good thing.
It's just like we're just having discussion, and there's no time limits.
Oh, okay.
Or for whoever. It's just a matter of you can hop on or can stay on. If you have to leave, you got to leave. Really.
I like that format. That's like, I think Joe Rogan does that style, I think.
That's why we're doing it.
Yeah,
it works.
Dope. Yeah, it does work. I've seen a lot of his interviews. But yeah, so I'm pretty stoked actually about finally getting behind the director's chair again to shoot this feature film, because I've just been doing short films for a long time. And the last one I did was 45 minutes long. And I'm just like, I could have shot a couple more days and I would have had a feature. Like, I was a little surprised myself. So
yeah.
that's what we're going to do.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. The feature, the one feature I directed was 56 or 57 pages on the script.
Oh, and, really?
Yeah, I had 10 days of shooting.
Yeah.
And my rough cut was 140 minutes.
That's amazing. And like for years, like whenever a script, obviously the script is 1 page a minute, but like the last 2 or 3 projects I did, it's like it's the double or triple the amount of pages I have. And I'm like, am I like slowing down or something?
They used to write it that way too. So very aware of the spacing and the timing and the design of that one scene that's in that 1 page, or whatever it is. It's in that 1 page is supposed to be within a minute.
Yeah.
It's more old school coming into new school, kind of, because you have film also versus digital, and you have more time to, kind of like play with stuff versus like chop, give me the scene and it's going to be this long. Let's go. It's kind of like that with the bigger stuff too, but
yeah,
I think it just makes it easier with independent.
I think that makes sense. Yeah.
Stretch things out.
Because many of the stuff that I've done were just like quick edit stuff in that the pacing is really fast. So those tend to go about a minute a page, but like the last 1 or 2 were more, were just a little bit more slower in the pacing. So like I have to keep that in mind, that if you have a slow paced film, 10 pages, 1 page a minute doesn't apply. It's like 1 page every 2 or 3 minutes of 1 page equals about 2 or 3 minutes of film time, screen time. If you have a movie with a slow tempo. And I didn't realize
also that. Yeah, I mean, there's you have one action line that says, he's he's sitting there like debating on something, right?
Yeah.
That alone could be 2 minutes. Sometimes it's like
Yeah.
it's just watching a whole moment of this dude anticipating or something, going back and forth,
Yeah.
trying to do something or not, you know.
Right.
Yeah. Um,
But yeah, I'm probably butchering it, but like there's like a famous like in I think it's Ben Hur. There's like a famous like um uh supposedly there's the Great Chariot Race was like one or two sentences, but it lasted several minutes on film. But on the script it was just like a couple of sentences. So theoretically that's like 5 seconds of screen time, but it was really like 20 minutes or something. I could have the timing wrong, but like yeah, that happens all the time.
yeah. Or fight scenes, or
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, absolutely.
how much can you write a fight scene? You know, it's just kind of like they fight and then this guy technically wins. So figure it out.
That's
You
a good
know?
point, man. That's a good point because, like, I mean, you just feel funny as a writer when you do something like that. You try to choreograph a fight scene. Like, okay, he takes
Like
out
Jason
a
Bourne.
sword, and the other person takes out a sword, and they fight. Like, how do you write that? That's
Yeah.
probably the hardest thing to write. I mean, that's funny.
I'm not sure how much of, I mean, there's definitely sample scripts out there, but I haven't really read any of the Kung Fu
Yeah,
scripts, you know?
or like even try to imagine Star Wars. Okay, so Luke gets out his lightsaber, and then they fight. Like I there's like you know the movie with I'm forgetting his name right now, but it was a Paul Thomas Anderson movie. It's I think it's his first one, Boogie Nights. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And so it's funny because every time the actors, whenever they were filming the all the porn scenes or whatever, they would say, "Okay, here's the script." That John opens the door, she's there naked, and then they go at it, and that was basically it for, and that's like 20 minutes, I guess. So like a fight scene is kind of like that. Okay, Luke Skywalker takes out his lightsaber, Darth Vader takes out his lightsaber, and they go at it. How else can you write it? They start fighting. Like it's just a difficult thing to write.
It is. Yeah. It's, I mean, also like they're just different circumstances or however you want to shoot it. It's, as a writer, I don't think like you would always have that mindset to understand how to write a, action scene like that, unless it's just specific things that happen during that action
Yeah.
that is trying to point out.
And I noticed that, especially with dance sequences and stunt and fight sequences, they only need the line that says they fight, and then like the stunt coordinator comes in and coordinates the hell out of it, and like can make 8 minutes out of it, and stuff that the writer couldn't imagine because they're not a stunt choreographer, or they're not a ballet teacher or a choreographer or whatever. It's just so I mean, I wouldn't, as a writer, I guess I wouldn't worry about that if it's a screenplay, because the stunt choreographer or the dance choreographer is going to do all the writing for you once you get to that part.
Yeah.
So that's just sort of something to keep in mind if there's a budget involved, anyway. Or you can just ad lib if it's a small production. The director and the actors and the stunt people can just ad lib and do their own thing. We just need to know where they fight. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Or if there's any kind of a shift in the character arc, or there's any kind of emotional thing happening during those things, like you can point those out. The rest of it is just kind of like, let them handle it, man.
Yeah. No, yeah, you want to make sure that you keep all your bullet points in check, or I guess they call them beats. All the beats are in order, and all the important information that you need to know is there, and yeah, everything's yeah, you make sure everything's in order. I feel a lot of writing is just information management. When to tell your character something, when to tell your audience something, when to not give them something, when to when to give, I guess they call the unreliable narrator, something when to give out misinformation, or when, how long, or should you delay some information? It's just information management. If you wanted to have a good sort of like suspenseful structure or whatever. Yeah, I'm not sure I'm articulating it correctly or properly, but like there's a lot of sort of like organizing of information in writing.
Yeah, it's going through the journey correctly, technically,
Yeah.
understanding the character
Development
beats and arcs and all that, and just kind of why is this happening? Why is the next?
Yeah.
Why am I seeing the next scene? Do I have to see the next scene, or
yeah,
do I have to see them walking constantly? All these things are just kind of
No, yeah, just keeping. That's why you want to, at the end of each scene, you want to. I mean, yeah. When writing a scene, you don't want to show the entire scene. You want to show the beginning of the scene, the end of the scene, or the middle. If you're a really good writer, you can do all three of them all at once. But that's a hard thing to pull off.
Right.
But yeah, it's a lot of fun. So we're gonna, keep on writing what we're writing and shoot it.
Heck yeah! Awesome.
Yeah, that's the plan. Did you want to say anything to your friend?
Yeah. See what are you doing, Tom?
I'm just did about 200 push-ups.
Okay. Are you making noises in the background? Are you drilling something?
Yeah, I'm doing push-ups, bro.
What? No, that was the sound of you pushing up. That was not the drill.
Someone's getting their house, their trees cut down from their house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Was there a lot of noise? Sorry, there's a lot of background noise.
It's not that bad, actually. Zoom kind of like cleans it up a little bit, being beginner podcaster. So, sweet, man. All right. Well, I'll let you guys do it. And you want to hop in the pool and all that, and get some food. I'm sure get some grubbing.
Yeah.
Tom, so just give a little, shout out to maybe some peeps that you worked with, or a little close up. I'm sorry, not close up, a closure for Scream Bloody Murder.
Shout out to the one and only, my homegirl, Scout Taylor Compton, Halloween. Known her for a long time. Shout out to Lauren Francesca. Shout out to Tom Sizemore, my partner in crime, Jared Safier, Naveed Sinati, Sean C. Phillips, Will Colazzo, Julianne, Todd Bridges. I don't know, man. We had so many people in there. Everyone, the whole cast and crew, Kelly Ryder, everyone did an amazing job. Their film family. I love them guys. Just got to keep it pushing, get to the next one, keep getting this money, keep making them movies. We'll be all right, bro.
Heck yeah. And we'll be coming back in a couple of weeks, and hopefully with other guests. And also I want to go over some of the post-production process, to kind of like, maybe a couple of scenes we can pick or something,
cool.
And kind of like show like, what we're doing and how the post works. And then, in general, how we're dealing with QC usually, you know what I mean?
Well, a couple people from here gave shout outs. Lauren gave a shout out last night, put her on there. I'll get Carlos to do one. I'll get Scout to do one. So just keep our people shouting out, man. We'll keep pushing this train. And every couple of weeks, we'll keep this moving until we get you, Joe Rogan, until we get your numbers.
We're coming for you, Joe.
We're coming for you, Joe.
That's awesome.
Sweet. Yeah, buddy. Nice meeting you, man.
Yeah, same here. Nice meeting you.
And then we'll keep hopping on here as much as we can. Keep creating good content, good value for our fellow filmmakers. That's the goal.
That's absolutely the goal.
Film Chat and Hustle 101, baby.
Cool.
Rock and roll. Have fun, guys. Talk to you soon.
All right, bro.
All right.
Peace.
Peace.